In the heart of the bustling emergency room, Nurse Clara was a picture of calm efficiency. The air, thick with the scent of antiseptic and the low hum of life support machines, was her natural habitat. Tonight, like any other night, was a controlled chaos of beeping monitors, hushed conversations, and the soft squeak of rubber-soled shoes on linoleum floors. Her patient in bed, for an elderly man with a severe case of pneumonia, needed his IV line replaced. It was a routine task, one she had performed thousands of times. As she carefully unwrapped the new tubing, her hands moved with a practiced grace that belied the urgency of her work. She disinfected the port, her focus absolute. The world outside the small curtained-off space ceased to exist. There was only her, the patient, and the delicate task at hand. She murmured a few reassuring words to the sleeping man, her voice a soft counterpoint to the rhythmic beep of his heart monitor. This was her calling, bringing comfort and care in moments of vulnerability. The faint sound of sirens in the distance was just part of the city's nightly soundtrack, a familiar lullaby for anyone working the night shift. But then the familiar soundtrack changed. The distant wail of sirens grew louder, more numerous, and unnervingly closer. A subtle tremor ran through the floor, a low rumble that vibrated up through the soles of her shoes. Her colleagues paused, glancing at each other with questioning eyes. An earthquake. A major traffic accident on the highway nearby. The hospital's overhead speakers crackled to life, but instead of the usual calm announcement, a panicked voice shouted a single, unintelligible word before cutting out. That's when the first real shockwave hit. It wasn't a tremor, it was a violent jolt. The entire building groaned, and a shower of dust and ceiling tiles rained down. The lights flickered wildly before plunging the room into near-total darkness, pierced only by the emergency backup lights casting long, eerie shadows. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor in bed flatlined into a continuous piercing tone, not from cardiac arrest, but from a power failure. Panic erupted. Screams echoed down the hallway, mingling with the crash of falling equipment. She had to keep him breathing. As she worked, a deafening roar, like a freight train derailing right outside the window, filled the air. The wall beside her buckled inward, and the window shattered, spraying glass across the room. The perimeter had collapsed. The once a sanctuary of healing had become the heart of the disaster zone. They were no longer just nurses and doctors. They were first responders on a new, terrifying front line. it. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.